I want to tell you about an event that occurred to me in Boston. First, let me tell you about my cousin Jerry. He asked me to go with him to Boston to visit his daughter, Susie. Jerry and I were cousins. He was my mentor. He had a job at a haberdashery, and he turned that over to me when he went off to medical school. When he was in medical school, we used to exchange uh, conferences or pathology information, so we were quite close. So Jerry asked me if I would go with him to Boston, and I said yes. Um, we got to Boston and we saw his daughter, Susie, who was in school at the time. And the idea came to us, let's go to a movie. Uh, we went into the movie house. Uh, I'd never been in a place like that. So many rooms, and uh, finally somebody said, this is a multiplex. I'd never heard of that before. Anyway, I went in and one of the places and sat down and watched the movie. The movie was Bye Bye Braverman. It was the story of Braverman who had died, and his friends were taking his coffin to be buried. One of the characters was Alan King. So it was a kind of slice of life piece, uh, talking about Braverman, telling jokes, telling about his relationship with other girls other than his wife, and so on. After that, we went back to Aliquippa. I think I was in college at the time. I kept looking for the movie Bye Bye Braverman, but I never saw it. I thought maybe it was a poor uh, kind of draw and probably never left Hollywood. Now, I'd never met Susie beyond that time, but in 2 years ago, I went to Bob Shemovitz's 90th birthday. Um, it so happens, as we checked out of our hotel, we saw Susie and her husband, Marshall. I said, Susie, I haven't seen you since we were in Boston. I followed you. I think Marshall, your husband, was in someplace in Ohio, and now I think you're in Florida. And I'm so glad to see you. She gave me an odd look. She said, I've never been in Boston. I said, of course, you went to school somewhere near Boston, and I went with Jerry up to meet you in Boston. She said, I've never been in Boston. She said, you didn't go to school there. She said nothing, but Marshall, her husband, said she didn't go to school there. He told me what it was, where she went to school, but I can't remember it now. I said, I, I'm sure I went to Boston and saw you, but nobody said anything. So I think I realized there was something wrong with my memory, and I stopped my insistence about meeting her at Boston and so on. So I went back home and I realized I was having hallucinations, maybe part of an early dementia, but it's so clear. It's a space of time, almost 70 years, and I still insist on going to Boston, going to the movies, seeing Bye Braverman. I guess I'm going to have lots of that.